Hello, Weslaco, good morning, and welcome again to Coffee with the Mayor. Today I have the distinct pleasure of having a good friend, our County Commissioner of Precinct 1, David Fuentes, join us here for some coffee and discuss some issues and projects that we've done here at Precinct 1 in the city of Weslaco. So, first of all, thank you, Commissioner, for taking the invite, and good morning. Thank you for joining me here today.
Hey, fall is in the air. You know, I'm wearing my Notre Dame cap. I'm ready for football season, and the marching band and all the students back to school, the buzz around education, you know, the teachers coming back. It's a great time of the year. It's, you know, after this long, hot summer, you know, it's good to have kids back in the classroom and on the football field and playing their instruments. So I'm looking forward to this fall season.
Let's talk a little bit about your vision and what you've done there at Precinct 1 and how you've taken care of the whole precinct, what your goal was and what you've done and where you see the vision of Precinct 1 in the Mid-Valley.
I think what everybody sees right now is that there's a lot of infrastructure, a focus on infrastructure. You know, back in 2018, we were forced to deal with flooding. You know, we didn't have a choice. With the 18 inches of rain and the 24 hours, I think everybody felt devastated. We had a lot of water intrusion in homes. I mean, you and I lived through that, not just at the city of Weslaco, but through the entire precinct. So for us, you know, it highlighted the importance and the need of addressing that critical infrastructure to protect life and property. You know, since then, you know, we've endured the 19 storm events. We did the hurricane in 2020, and you throw COVID into that, the freeze. You know, we've had to deal with a lot of natural disasters. Focusing on drainage, I think, has been a great relationship between the city of Weslaco and Drainage District and Precinct 1, and even the school district. You know, I was a school board member before I was county commissioner. And I don't think I ever saw in that 6.5 years that I was there, the relationship and the working together between the different entities. I appreciate that the city and the school are sharing resources as far as allowing the detention facilities on some of the unused school property, as far as like just empty space, because it's a good utilization of space. And those kinds of detention facilities are the types of innovative projects that hadn't been done before. You know, a lot of it was linear ditch widening and things like that. Now we can build detention facilities, capture water, get some immediate runoff off of the streets. Gives us time to get water out of our ditch system. But that relationship between the city and the school is great. And then the city and the county and the drainage district is just as important. We're working on some joint projects together. I'll let you kind of highlight some of that. But for us, you know, we're going to continue to focus on that kind of critical infrastructure, because the more people feel safe and comfortable in their homes, you know, I think the more likely we'll see continued growth in our area.
One that comes to mind, and I think it's already in design, it's going to go for pre-bid. It's the Clicker Hill area where we're going to, you know, do a 15 or 20 acre feet of water. It's going to hold some of the water in that area. That's going to really help, you know, get water off the street, keep them from going to the homes. So it's going to really help a lot of property owners, students, and families that are around that area. It's going to help the whole system. I want to thank you personally and publicly. You know, I'll be remiss if we don't mention, you know, the big project through the first bond projects, one of the first bond projects with the drainage district that you spearheaded. The Las Brisas Chapa RDF there, the first 10 acres, and then the second one, 25 acres. That's been a big project, and I think it's been tested and it's working. So Las Brisas area has really had been, you know, had gone through several floods after 2018 and 19. After once that RDF was built and all the drainage improvements were done there, I think we see that it's working now. There's more storm drains there. We don't have to go with the Movacs, you know, that you helped us graciously to get water out and pump water. I mean, those were hard times for us. It took us 7 days the first time to just get the water out of there, but I think the improvements have really shown that it's working, and I think the Brisas and we at the city of Weslaco thank you, because they can sleep better at night.
Right, we put in over 35 acres of new detention. We created a new ditch system completely. We've widened it, we improved the outfall. So not only are we going to have more positive outflow, we're going to have a lot of detention capacity. So it's going to be great for all of that area.
The city, you know, went to pass a $10 million bond that actually was $14 million because of the interest rates and some of the dollars that were leveraged. We were able to do some RDFs some regional detention facilities that hold the water. And then what I like to describe is once, the water is in the RDF and then it goes back to the ditch to go to the outfall. And that's helped a lot with this flooding and keep localized flooding. And I believe Weslaco's done about 4 of them already, and I think there's 4 more that are in design phase that we're excited that some of them will go to construction this year. A little bit about what your plans are in respect to the Mid-Valley area and how it's going to, help the Mid-Valley area, and particularly Weslaco.
So those relationships between the county and the city, the drainage district, are all really important. When you talk about RDFs, the regional detention facilities, you're talking about a localized plan that may make more economic sense than linear detention. Linear detention, you got to buy property all the way along that linear ditch. Whereas in RDF, you can buy like one big piece of property and divert water in there and then bleed it back into the system, so as it creates capacity so that we can get water out of people's, off the streets and off of people's property. And then it'll slowly go into the system as the system has capacity to absorb it. There's more coming. You mentioned one on the north side of town and one of the schools Kleckler held, and then there's some that are going to be on the south side that we're working on right now, Project 35, which is there along Mile 5 North and 88 and that blinking light. That's an important relationship between the city and the county where we're going to be working together to try to improve that area through an RDF type project style. So we'll continue to work on all of those. We're improving the gate structures to get positive flow at a faster rate, improving the water outfall. But those RDFs are really critical to protect local property.
Pablo Peña Park, where that's going to be turned into an RDF, it's dual purpose like they do in McCarroll, etc., because they're going to be able to, grade it to where it's going to take more water and then bleed it back into the system. But when there's no water, it can be used as soccer field, so it's going to be dual purpose, and it's really going to help that area. It's going to help the downtown, the Toritos, Kansas, because we're going to be able to have, bigger box structure under the street at phase 2 when we do that. And so it's going to take more capacity. It's going to create more capacity, so it's going to, alleviate some of the flooding in that area.
Investment in drainage is an important part of the whole aspect of all of us working together. From the county side with the $188 million bond in 2018 and the $195 million bond in 2023, added into the $10 million that you're doing. I mean, locally, we're looking at roughly $50 million of drainage improvements that have happened in 5 years. That's a huge investment for us as a county and as a city to invest in quality of life and protecting people here in Weslaco. I applaud the city of Weslaco. I thank you guys for working with us because I think us working together, leveraging our dollars against state funds, going out there and trying to find more monies to try to continue to invest in our projects locally is just going to help us get better.
Thank you, Weslaco. Again, Coffee with the Mayor, another success. I want to thank the Commission for joining us today. I want to urge you to continue to look at these Coffee with the Mayors and reach out to me if you have any concerns. I'll ask you to support me in my re-election, re-elect proven leadership. God bless you and God bless Weslaco.